like for the Getting Knowledge Ready strategy, the text they'll use, how long they'll be doing the activity for, the scaffolding they're going to be using, and what they're wanting the student outcomes. And so they're using a format like that to actually plan how they're going to go about doing the teaching. Now, I wanted to show, Robert's not here. Okay, I wanted to show, now Effie, yours is on here, so I'm going to, I'll just show, I think Bobita's is. Because Bethel has put together a really good way of planning how to put these into place. Now, do you guys want to talk about this? Do you want to come out and talk about it? Yeah, for sure.
Okay. What we did after we attended the learning leaders last year was my colleague and I did a 1-hour after-school presentation on what Getting Knowledge Ready was to our staff. After we did the presentation, the staff were asking us, yes, we know what Getting Knowledge Ready is, but what exactly do we say to the kids? What are the exact words that we use so that we're all giving the same message throughout the school? So we came up with an implementation plan, a week-by-week, day-by-day plan, 4 lessons a week so that teachers had that 5th day to do whatever else they wanted to teach. Now, Getting Knowledge Ready itself is a big component. So we thought we'll break it down. On the first day, the first lesson, given a title only, how would you use Getting Knowledge Ready? So the words were all there for the teachers. If you have a title, what does that remind you of? So you give children enough time to visualize, like, look, we all know what to do, but our teachers didn't know. So we gave them the exact words, the exact phrases to use. How they delivered that lesson was up to them. But we found that by doing that, the teachers after that used to come to the staff room and talk about it. The professional talk that came about as a result of this implementation plan was fantastic. Prep teachers were coming up and saying, I didn't know that my kids could say the title in another way. I didn't know that they could come up with the word small for tiny. We don't realize the potential of our students unless we explicitly ask the questions. Okay, so we also did a pre-test with Getting Knowledge Ready, where 2 pictures were given. That's in week 2. 2 pictures were given to the staff, and they were asked to ask the kids what do they think Getting Knowledge Ready was, and they were given 5 to 10 minutes to write whatever they wanted. Most of the kids only wrote about predictions. And we did that similar test at the end of the term after teaching Getting Knowledge Ready, and the results were completely different. Kids were not talking about predictions anymore. They were talking about things like what happened in 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, I could have visualized this is what's going to happen. They were asking questions the text was going to answer. They were asking a lot more questions. They were writing in sentences. They were not just using words, but it was sentences. So there was a big improvement between the pre-test and the post-test. And we also had visualization using, let's see if you go further down. Week 2, visualization using a non-fiction book. So write down about 10 keywords from the text. We ask kids to paraphrase. What does that phrase mean? What do the words mean? And we also, in lesson 3, as you can see there, got the children to tell us what is it that they did. Ask children what they're going to do. How are you going to get your knowledge ready? Today, let's talk and write in sentences about the pictures. So each lesson was very explicit, so that the teachers themselves knew what to do and what to say. And we found that really useful. The teachers found that really useful. And we've done something similar with vocabulary, reading aloud, paraphrasing, and visualizing. They're all on different planners, though.
Well, I think that's a fantastic plan. I'd be really keen for you guys to put, to really write on it, Bethel Primary School and whatever, and and acknowledge it. But then, if it were possible to make it available to other people, I think it'd be fantastic. It's really, I reckon that's a really great, a really useful thing.
What I find that as a result of your last week's, that we attended last week's session, I think what we need to include there also specifically is the terminology. What reading actions are you using? Because this week when I went back to class, we did that in the classroom, and I asked the students in my class, I'm a grade 4 teacher, what reading actions are you doing when you're doing your silent reading? And they came up with the usual getting knowledge ready stuff and all that. And very few of the kids talked about thinking about the main idea or summarizing, and we talked further about that after they had done it. I've got it in written form, and now they're starting to use all that. So before they start, I said, what is it that you have to do? We have to think about the reading actions that we are doing as we're reading and write about them.
No, yeah. I think we all agree. That's a tremendous structure. And you see, we would benefit from a structure like that for a short period of time, and then we'd be developing it ourselves. That's the whole idea of the structure. But it just gives you options for what it would look like in the actual teaching. This is what it would look like in the teaching. And from, you guys either being, leaders of literacy or school leaders, this is really going to be a really valuable framework for instructional leadership. You know where to go. You've got a foothold into the actual activities.